Today, I wanted to show you something that got me into electronics. The 201 Electronic Project Kit. All right, video over. This, I don't know if other stores carried it or if you, other thing, back in, shoot, was this early 80s? Or no, early 90s or late 80s? I forget. I think it's somewhere in here. It should say 81. Copyright 1981. That answers that question. It was early 80s. I'm older than I thought. So, back in the day, this was purchased at Radio Shack when I was... Well, I know they didn't get it when this first came out, because I was far younger than... I would have gotten this around age 10, maybe 12, but probably 10 or 11. And what this is it's a kit. The actual kit. Yes, there's wires in it. I still use it to this day on stuff. But we'll focus on the manual right now. But it starts off with all these different circuits that you can build. And it has breakdowns and explanations of all the different things, such as diodes, meters, relay, transformers. The list goes on. You can literally build a radio, telegraph, alarm, all sorts of things. And again, after an explanation of what all the circuit components do, then it has actual circuits. And you just go through the numbers, connect the wires in sequence. Some of them are very complicated, and some of them are really simple. A little telegraph. And of course you can combine several different circuits together if you wanted to. On the device itself, you can press this and make it, there's like a telegraph, hit the relay switch, so you have a little click. Then of course you have that relay switch connect to the light if you wanted, and then you could make it click and light up. You could do all sorts of stuff and just kind of build complexity onto it on yourself if you wanted. And this was put out, it looks by a science fair. I'm not sure if that company was the actual name or just a line of products they had. But yes, I still use it to this day. And as I get on, it goes to actual circuit schematics, and of course it has the same breakdown. You can write notes in here. I didn't put any notes in here on any of this stuff because that's not the way I roll. But we're going to the kit itself, and amazingly this is in really good shape, as much play and work as it got. There's a crack here on the lid. Obviously there's a lot of scratches. This right here looks just pristine because you don't actually touch the surface. You touch all the little springs here. Fold them back, put wires in. This right here is a remnant of a circuit I need to temporarily make because I was making a prop for plays and skits that I just needed the meter to just jump like this. So I did some testing and got a meter. I was hoping to get, it was a minor jump. I was hoping to get this big dramatic movement of the needle, but it didn't. But oh well. It served its purpose. I've also used this, my video on making mappers. I used this to map out what was the voltage needed for the different thresholds for the different colors to work, to find out how that all worked. I've used it for other things. On the front here, originally they had LEDs recessed in here, but I accidentally fried them because I was thinking if I was going to put all of them on one same circuit, I needed more voltage, not realizing that that doesn't work for LEDs, and so they changed strange colors. And I remember yellow, and then they stopped working, and so I replaced them with these I salvaged off another circuit board, and I could just easily pull them out and put them back in if needed. Replace them. Real simple, easy. Because I salvaged all sorts of stuff. To this day, in some ways I feel sorry for my wife because of all sorts of junk. But fortunately, she's the same way. She's got all sorts of stuff. She saves for all sorts of stuff. And every now and then we break down and say, you know what, we don't need this. This is not useful. Get rid of it. So Yes, this right here, if you really wanted to put in the time, effort, and read and study, you could learn all sorts of stuff about electronics, not having to pay for school, and learn everything here. You have transistors, you have all sorts of diodes, antenna, capacitors. You could build some really interesting stuff with the chips, but those circuits got really complicated. But it has a diagram showing you how all the connections in it, how there are different dependencies in the circuits and relays and if-then switches, etc. within them. So it's pretty cool. So since this is something that you don't see anymore, time was, again, reminiscing a little bit about Radio Shack. Time was, when I was a kid, Radio Shack was this magical place. You could go in and buy. Yeah, they had a lot of remote control cars and all sorts of stuff, different electronics, but you also had books about electronics and how you can make different circuits and toys like this that would teach you stuff. And it was really cool. And it's kind of sad that kids today aren't interested in these kind of things, aren't learning these kind of things. And I've heard from a couple different sources, there's actually a shortage of people who actually understand hardware. From my own experience, I've seen a lot of people throw things out because they were broken, and literally you pop it apart at one capacitor, blue, larger capacitors than these are, and just solder it out, put it back in, and oh look, I got a new computer monitor. In fact, I have monitors that they might be going on 20 years old. When something breaks, I just take it apart, solder out those parts, put them back in. I bought due to a job, I needed a certain resolution and performance for a job. So I bought a new monitor, able to handle all that, and it ran for about 2.5 years and stopped. No problem. I'll pull it apart, see what it is. The way they made it, you couldn't repair it. It couldn't be repaired. There was no parts to repair. So I threw it out and haven't bought a new monitor since. I have been nursing along and repairing old monitors, which some of those old ones, yeah, you might not get the 120 frames a second, but they have good resolution, they have good capacity, they work fine for my uses and needs, and I don't have to spend all that money on those monitors. So, something to keep in mind. Again, if you ever wanted to learn about some of these things, there are resources, there are books, and there are projects you can get with these. I don't know what's available now, but if you can ever find a 201 Electronics Project Lab, it's fine. It says lab here, kit here. No confusion. I'm sure it was a marketing firm. Probably these, one went into production. It had to be made. Probably this would take longer to actually make. These ones that went through a printer, it would come out in swarms, but they may need to order this like 6 months before this guy went into production, so there was probably a change. I've seen that happen. So yeah, fun little kit that you too could learn all about electronics. Nowadays everything's about app development and programming, and I don't know, it's just not the same.